Alright guys, this is parking brake assembly replacement on my truck over here, a 1999 F-350. I think this is going to be the same in a lot of vehicles. I'm not sure which. I know I bought this same mechanism for a 04 250 that I have, so I'm guessing this is going to go over a wide range of Fords. But I couldn't find a video talking about how to get this off specifically. You know, you can get all the way around it with the hood release cable replacement, and then also the release for this itself, which actually hooks in over here, if I'm not mistaken. So none of that was broken on mine. All the ratcheting mechanism here, I guess, or whatever locks into this, which is, I guess, is this mechanism here, just wouldn't hold this down anymore, which is a pretty common failure. I had the same thing happen to my my 04 as well. So this has 3 bolts, one here, here, and here. This one's going to be the hardest one to get to. You can actually get these two off without doing hardly anything. You don't have to remove anything, or at least I didn't. And my truck is a bare bones model with the rubber floor and all that, so that may change a little bit if you've got you know, King Ranch or something like that. I'm not sure. But at any rate, this was kind of a pain in the butt. It didn't take an awful long time, but it's one of those jobs that'll probably take you an hour, hour and a half, and feel like it took 12. So I'm just going to go over the steps and kind of show you some of the placement of it. I've already, of course, got this one out, and I do not have the other one back in. I'm about halfway through the process right now, which I figured was a good time to take the video and show you guys how to get this thing in and out of there. So there is a hole right here. That is where, and I'll show you how this aligns in the truck a little bit here, actually. So this is gonna sit up like that, and that's your foot pedal there. So that kind of gives you some, hopefully, the right orientation. So that hole back there on the bottom is where your parking brake cable that goes back to the splitter at the back comes up through, and it'll ride behind this, and you can actually see that right there. So you can actually see the hole. That's a good shot there. You can see the hole back down there, and it rides up over this and connects through this here. And I've actually pried that out because mine wouldn't come out, and don't care about this one. So that's just your little sensor there that tells it when your parking brake is engaged. That's a real simple disconnect right there. You just literally just pull it off. This guy, there's not much room to get it out, but you know, that, I don't know if you can see, it's got that slide back here, so you just grab that with some needle nose pliers, and you'll be able to, once you get all the bolts out, peel this off the wall just a little bit, just enough basically to get that in there, and it comes through here. So there's a plastic grommet of sorts that holds that cable in, that feeds into here. So you just kind of pull up that. I went ahead and opened my hood, pull that down and slide it out, and then you'll have to squeeze this with some pliers and maybe tap it a little bit to get it to pop back out. That really actually wasn't all too terrible. Honestly, the getting the main cable out was more of a bear for me. I had to go under the truck to get, which is real easy. This being a flatbed is real easy to have done, but I had to go under the truck and disconnect where they hook up to the two, you know, this is where it splits off to each rear wheel. So I went ahead and disconnected that so I could have plenty of slack up towards the cab in order to get that thing off completely. None of that was the real problem. in this truck as far as just making this a pain in the butt. This also connects. I'll try to remember to go back over there and show you where this connects to it, but that's pretty simple and self-explanatory. So you can see through here that that's where the computer sits. So it had a bracket, and this sat right up against the parking brake mechanism, and then has another bolt way up in there that you can barely see. You in fact cannot see when that bracket is in there or the assembly is in there. So this was kind of a pain in the butt for me. You've got to go in the engine bay, which I'll show you in a minute. I went ahead and unbolted this and that top one, and then there is a way to get the main harness out. And this is your computer, sits in a metal bracket, which I will show you when I can find that in a minute. Here, let me see that right now, actually. So just as an example, when you first get in here, this is basically what you'll see. There'll be the computer sits in here. It actually bolts 1, 2 little bolt holes you can see to that. That one's real easy to get to, and then of course the parking brake assembly fits very tight back there. That top screw up there for this bracket was a pain in the butt, but it's real simple. These are 10 millimeters for getting this out. I think this was a 7 millimeter bolt for the computer itself, and I'll go over to the engine bay and show you how we got this out. That was a bit of a pain in the butt, just because if you haven't, like I assume most people have not, if you haven't taken that off ever, it's going to kind of be welded on there, though getting it off is really not that bad. It's just another tight space. So tight that I might not even be able to show you. All right, I went ahead and did the wrong thing. You see those 3? You can see 2 of them. There's another one under there. Can't reach my hand in there and show you at the same time. So these guys I took out of the way, just assuming that's what I was taking out. Didn't realize I didn't have to. But it did make getting that out easier, and you can see that that bolt that's on the center of that thing. I hope you can anyway. Yeah, no, it's too dang tight to show you. But anyway, there's a 10 millimeter bolt there in the middle. It does not come out. They're all in the case, and they're pretty simple. It's just threaded a million times, so you've got it out before you start yanking on it. And then you can even tag team it. My wife came out and helped me a little bit. I was able to kind of jiggle on this side while she was yanking the computer on the other side, and we got it to finally separate. And all that really wasn't too terrible. So, this is, like I said, not a crazy complicated job, but really, really tight and frustrating. Let me go ahead and show you on this new one. I got this new one off of Amazon, just the cheapest place I could find it. It says Ford owned. Actually seems to be a genuine product, not that I much care. This right here is what that release cable here, that's for releasing the foot pedal itself. That is going to hook, kind of ride here. You fold it up under and hook there, and you can actually see the mechanism. It's working to disengage that little sprocket there. So hopefully this was helpful, and leave me some comments if you have any additional questions. I didn't have to take anything else apart for this. I know, like I said, that King Ranch models or maybe fancier models might have some more stuff. So, get any questions? I'll try to pay attention to the page and answer any of them that you have. Thanks.